Rajnath Singh Ji, Honorable Defence Minister of India, His Excellency Muhammad Ali Mahbub, the Defence Minister of Comoros, Srimati Meenakshi Lekhi Ji, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs, Chiefs of Defence Forces, Chiefs of Navies, Chiefs of Coast Guards and the Maritime Agencies, Heads of Delegations, Senior Defence Leaders from participating countries, Commanders-in-Chiefs, Admiral Arun Prakash, Admiral Karambir Singh, respected veterans, flag officers, distinguished guests, officers, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It's a matter of great privilege for me to welcome the Honorable Raksha Mantri, Shri Rajnath Singh Ji, to the Goa Maritime Conclave 2023. What began in 2017 as a small congregation of the principals of the maritime security agencies, the Goa Maritime Conclave has since then evolved into a functional construct that deals with transnational challenges in the Indian Ocean region. Through a logical sequencing of Goa Maritime Conclaves and Goa Maritime Symposiums, we have embarked on a journey to convert maritime conversations into identifying priorities, formulating strategies, and executing actions and activities at sea. Since oceanic challenges that fester in the region affect all the resident states the most, the idea is for us to take ownership and onus of resolving these issues in a cooperative manner. So during the last edition in 2021, we arrived at common maritime priorities, which could be viewed as a much needed start point. And this year, the aim is to formulate collaborative mitigation frameworks to address these priorities that we have arrived at in the last GMC. So in that endeavor, the Honorable Raksha Mantri Ji, your views will be of immense value. In fact, it was your foresightedness that transformed this Goa Maritime Conclave from just an academic event to an action-oriented one. So your presence here today is an apt recognition of the significance attached to the Goa Maritime Conclave, driving conversations and partnerships into actionable outcomes. So we thank you for being here with us, sir, and we look forward to your guidance. Jai Bharat.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have amongst us the Honorable Raksha Mantri of India, Shri Rajnath Singh, who will be delivering the keynote address of the Goa Maritime Conclave 2023. May I now invite the Honorable Raksha Mantri on the stage to deliver his address.
Mr. Mahmood Ali Mahbub, Honorable Defence Minister, Comoros, Mrs. Meenakshi Lekhi, MAS in Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Admiral R. Hari Kumar, Chief of Naval Staff, distinguished dignitaries from friendly foreign countries, senior officials from Government of India, friends from media and academia, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to deliver the keynote address for this edition of Goa Maritime Conclave. At the outset, I thank all the participants from the friendly foreign countries of the Indian Ocean region for making the journey across the ocean. Friends, as the inhabitants of the Indian Ocean region, all of us know that the relationship between humans and oceans is multifaceted, often characterized by a dual nature that encompasses independence and vulnerability, as well as preservation and exploitation. Friends, oceans have always appealed to human imagination. Oceans are undeniably majestic and overwhelming. Their sheer size commands respect and admiration from all who contemplate their grandeur. Their role in supporting biodiversity, food production, climate regulation, and numerous other vital functions cannot be overstated. Oceans have been instrumental in the evolution of civilization by promoting trade, cultural exchange, providing resources, sustenance, etc. Friends, Indian Ocean, on balance, has served us well across millennia. We interacted with each other and learned new and useful things from each other. We traded with each other and became prosperous. But like most things in life, even oceans are not unmixed blessings. Friends, it was just a few centuries ago that a serious problem of colonial domination confronted our societies. During that period, our contact with colonial powers was mostly through the oceans. Colonialism was greatly facilitated by the use of oceans as highways of exploration and conquest. The ability to navigate and control these vast expanses of water allowed colonial powers to extend their influence and establish overseas empires that shaped the course of human history. Friends, but we fought back. Our society struggled against the colonial systems, and our mitigation efforts flowered into our national movements. If we try to analyze the causes of subjugation of colonized people, one of the main reasons was the lack of shared framework among the countries to mitigate the impact of colonialism. Later, our national movements formulated a shared framework for collaboration among themselves. These national movements sought solidarity, support, and cooperation with other movements and nations that shared their goals. The leaders of these national movements often shared ideology, learning, and strategies with each other. That is, our mitigation frameworks collaborated and did so most successfully, thereby confining colonialism to the dustbin of history. That brings to the theme of my address, convening common maritime priorities into collaborative mitigation frameworks. And how do we collaborate towards achieving our common maritime priorities? Firstly, we have to work out and agree about our common priorities. Friends, a free, open, and rules-bound maritime order is a priority for all of us. Might is right has no place in such a maritime order. Respect for international maritime laws, as enunciated in UNCLOS 1982, must be our lodestar. Within this broad framework, many more concrete priorities can be fleshed out. Preservation of natural resources, anti-piracy operations, disaster resilience, and mitigation are some of the things that readily come to mind. With the common maritime priorities delineated, how do we put in place collaborative mitigation frameworks? The answer is simple and complex at the same time. We collaborate, we work together, and we share resources and expertise. But there being no free lunch in the world we live in, collaboration has cost for all of us. At times, conflict and non-cooperation appears more beneficial in terms of our immediate narrow and enlightened self-interest. So, why cooperate and collaborate when competition is seemingly more beneficial to us individually? Friend, it is only half of the story of the world we live in, and indeed it is deceptively straightforward but devastatingly misleading. The strategic interaction of nations in the international affairs can benefit from the game theoretic analysis, which has become an integral part of microeconomics. Friend, I have been a lecturer and have taught physics at the college level also. Friend, allow me to give you a brief tutorial on prisoner's dilemma, which is a classic exposition of benefits of collaboration as compared to competition. Two prisoners held separately by police without any communication between them have to decide individually whether to confess or not. If both confess, both get a medium level punishment, and if both refuse to confess, both get light punishment. However, if one confesses and the other does not, the confessing prisoner goes out without any punishment, while the other one gets a heavy punishment. Friend, a very small amount of thought would make it clear that both prisoners, lacking any communication and trust between them, would confess and get medium punishment. This is the case of non-cooperative interaction between the two prisoners, leading to medium level punishment for both. However, if the two prisoners trust each other, they will optimally decide not to confess, leading to a cooperative interaction and a light punishment. Friends, this concept of the prisoner's dilemma, when applied in the domain of international relations, can explain and analyze various situations where countries face strategic decision-making challenges. For example, when two or more countries engage in an arms race, they often do so out of mutual fear and mistrust. Each country wants to increase its military capabilities to ensure its security, as it believes that other countries are increasing their military capabilities. This leads to a suboptimal arms race to the detriment of all the countries. However, if all the countries cooperate by reducing their military spending, they could collectively achieve greater security and save resources for other needs. The dilemma arises from the fear that if one country decreases the military spending while others do not, it may be left vulnerable. Friend, the concept of the prisoner's dilemma can also be applied to the sustainable use of resources by countries. This is theoretically known as a tragedy of the commons. For example, fishing in a region, the sustainable use of this resource benefits all countries in the long run. Each country must decide whether to exploit the fishery at a high rate to maximize its immediate gains or to limit its exploitation to ensure the resources' long-term availability. The dilemma arises because if one country chooses to exploit this resource intensively while the others cooperate by using it sustainably, the exploiting country may reap large and unfair benefits, but in the long run, harm the resource by inducing other countries to do the same, ultimately affecting everyone negatively. Friends, in the two examples mentioned by me, the prisoner's dilemma illustrates the tension between the narrow national self-interest and a mutual benefit based on enlightened self-interest of all nations. The optimal outcome often involves cooperation and building trust among nations, but the fear of being taken advantage of or acting alone in the hostile world can lead to suboptimal decisions. The challenge is to find solutions that promote cooperation, build trust, and mitigate the risk associated with the prisoner's dilemma situations in international relations. Hence, it is important for the countries to build trust between them so that optimally collaborative interaction is possible for our mitigation frameworks. Friends, how do we build trust? We build trust through dialogues, such as Goa Maritime Conclave, joint exercises, industrial collaboration, sharing of resources, respecting international law, etc. The lesson is that trust among cooperating countries would lead to optimal outcomes in respect of our common maritime priorities. Since our countries interact with each other repeatedly on a multitude of issues, it is possible to build trust by discussion and consultation, as well as by consistently acting in concert with each other. In fact, the game theory itself has the theoretical basis of such cooperative optimal equilibrium based on the trust developed through repeated interactions. In India, we say, Sanghe Shakti Kaliyuge, a Sanskrit adage that is broadly translated as, in the present era, a strength lies in cooperation and collaboration. Friends, the point I want to make is that cooperative equilibrium can also be achieved in international relations. In our context, common maritime priorities such as tackling climate change, controlling piracy, terrorism, drug trafficking, and overfishing, freedom of commerce on high seas, etc., need to be addressed by all of us cooperatively by avoiding ruinous pursuit of selfish goals which would make the region less secure and less prosperous. If the threat that we face are supranational in scope and impact, international efforts to address them would indeed have limited effects. The regional challenges can, to the best of my understanding, be managed through multinational collaborative mitigation frameworks. Friends, in our region, illegal, underreported, and underregulated or IUU fishing is a challenge which relates to resource over-exploitation. IUU fishing threatens ocean ecosystems and sustainable fisheries. Friends, it also threatens our economic security and regional and global food security also. It is our common maritime priority to control IUU fishing, and doing so would require all of us to work together. A multinational collaborative effort for compilation, coalition, and the sharing of surveillance data is the need of the hour. It will help in identifying actors with irregular or threatening behavior, which will have to be countered resolutely. Friends, a collaborative mitigation framework in the context of the climate change involves countries working together to reduce carbon emissions and transition to sustainable practices. The prejudice dilemma presents the temptation for individual countries to free ride or avoid climate responsibility, while other countries bear the pain to reduce their emissions. But such narrow thinking and selfish actions are infectious in nature, and a pandemic of climate irresponsibility may threaten the very existence of our societies. Friends, like the pandemic we just overcame, there is also a vaccine available. It is a vaccine of collaboration, climate responsibility, and climate justice. If all countries accept the responsibility to cut emission by investing in green economy, share technology and capital with the needy countries and so on, there is no reason why humanity cannot overcome this problem as well. Friends, another pertinent priority is the respect of international maritime law as provided in UNCLOS 1982. Friends, our narrow, immediate interests may tempt us to flout or disregard the well-established international law, but doing so would lead to the breakdown of our civilized maritime intercourse. The law of jungle would be the result of such narrowness. Again, our common security and prosperity cannot be preserved without all committing to cooperatively adhere to the legitimate maritime rules of engagement. Fair and just rules of engagement are crucial for fostering such collaboration and ensuring that no single country dominates other in hegemonic manner. Friends, for all of us, the Indian Ocean region, the sea, has shaped our history since the immemorial. It continues to influence our lives today and will shape our shared destiny in the future. I have no hesitation in saying that if we cooperate and collaborate, the future of our region holds immense promise. Friends, the Goa Maritime Conclave is a step in that direction of cooperation, collaboration, discussion, and dialogue. I wish the conclave all the success and look forward to your valuable insights. May GMC grow in strength and stature. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Chief of the Naval Staff, Indian Navy, to present a memento to the Honorable Raksha Mantri of India, Shri Rajnath Singh. Thank you, sir. That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the conclusion of our proceedings prior to lunch. May I request our distinguished guests to proceed for lunch at the designated venues. May I also request our guests to take the opportunity to visit the Make in India exhibition during the break. On completion of the lunch break, I request all to be seated back by 1455 hours for commencing the final session at 1500 hours. Thank you.